Let's clap it up. All right, this is the Israelite School and the Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. This is a school where Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, Dominicans, people of color learn who they are, what they should be following, and who their true culture is. Today's class, we're going to be getting into some of the foundations of teaching a child. You know that when we first come in, and when we first come in with our parents, and when we're raised, you know, most of us were raised Christian. You know, a lot of us didn't. And when we raised Christian, the first thing we know is that we are African American. With that type of mindset, at the end of the day, when you ask somebody, you know, where you come from, you know, what do they usually say? Oh, I mean, I come from America. You know, I don't, you know, they don't know too much of their actual history, their heritage. But let's say you ask someone that is, you know, African or, you know, Chinese, he can give you the rundown. You know, like, oh, I'm from Uganda. I'm from the tribe Igbo. You know, I got this. He can give you the rundown of everybody who he is. But you ask somebody that's, you know, Black, Native American, not too much can tell you as far as who their grandfather was, if they even know who their grandfather was due to slavery. So let's kind of get into it. You know, when we first thing the Most High wants us to do is to teach. Wants to teach our young ones. You know, give me Deuteronomy 4 and 10 if you could. Matter of fact, now give me Deuteronomy 6 and 7. I'll try to get straight into it. Deuteronomy 6 and 7.
Not one con. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 7.
Go up to chapter 6. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And these words which I command this shall be in thine heart.
And when they say thine heart, I mean, that means this should be in your mind. This should be one of the first things you should be doing, you know, according to the Most High. He wants you to make sure this is a commandment. This is not something that you should be doing. This is a commandment. Go ahead and read that out.
Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children,
Mm-hmm.
and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way,
Mm-hmm.
and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
See, when we teach our children, the Lord is telling us we need to be teaching our children these laws, these statutes and commandments. When they and you teach them diligently, like all day, every day. When they go back to that first, go back to the top,
And to verse 6, I
verse
don't want.
7.
Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children,
Uh-huh.
and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
So when you in the house, you chill in the house with your child, you know, you kicking it, you know, a lot of times everybody just in the house and they doing their own thing,
Right.
right? Nothing's being not too much is being taught. But when you're in the house with your child, you need to know like, hey, this is what we need to be doing. This is what you need to be eating. These are the laws and statutes of our past, the unclean foods, the other nations that you shouldn't be dealing with. You know, don't be bringing no what you call it, colonizer to the house.
Right.
You know, this is the time when you teach your children, don't be dealing with other nations
That's right.
as far as dating other nations. Go ahead and keep reading.
And when thou walkest by the way.
So when y'all out, y'all walking around and you seeing stuff amongst, in the street. Let's say you riding around in a car with your little ones, and you seeing things out. Sometimes you'll see like homeless people or stuff like that, and they may ask you questions like, "Hey, Papa, Mom, like what? Why is he in this situation?" Don't sugarcoat stuff for your kids.
Right.
You don't want to sugarcoat anything. You want to tell them the truth because a lot of times these kids can see when you lie to them.
That's right.
They can see when you sugarcoat things. And what they do, and when they see you sugarcoat things, they might come across somebody that they feel is teaching them, telling them the truth. They may hear what you say, and they're like, you know what, I feel like they not telling me the truth. Let me teach to this stranger or this person that, that could be outside the nation, be teaching them all types of stuff.
Right.
That they feel like they go, what you about to say,
If I may, I don't want to
Uh-huh.
like it also teach them to like be soft on things.
Exactly.
I was watching this thing. It's about their okay. It was when that boy Ray J was in that he was talking to Cam Newton,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept on telling Cam Newton, "Hey, is there something wrong with being gay?" Instead of Cam Newton saying, "Yeah, there's something wrong with that," he kept going, "Nah, it's nothing wrong with that."
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the type of stuff that happens. So instead of you teaching them like what you said, like, hey, it's wrong, you shouldn't be doing that, you got somebody else saying, oh no, it's okay. It's all right. You can live your life. You can
Right.
you can do whatever you next thing your offspring, your lineage is gone. It's dead.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because now your seed, he went over there, he want to take the rod. He's a rod smith now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's done. That's why, like I said, when you in the house, teach them. When you walking around and you seeing stuff around, you see, like I said, like some dudes holding hands, and like, hey, why they doing that? Like, hey, that's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. The Lord
That's right.
says, don't do this. The Lord said that this is an abomination. The Lord says you need to tell them, the actual truth of what's going on.
Right.
Go ahead, keep reading up.
And when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Hey, when you take them when they laying down in the bed, even just let them know like, hey, this is also what goes on. This is what we saw today. What you learned today, what you speak about that type of stuff. Regurgitate what they learned so they can keep in their mind of what was what. Man, that is like some of the hard things that we don't do as parents sometimes. But a lot of times we didn't even know because some of us wasn't even taught that.
Right.
Because a lot of us we dealing with oppression so much. First thing we're trying to do is get these bills paid.
That's right.
We trying to keep the lights on. So as soon as we get to the house, we tired. We hitting the bed,
That's right.
eat some, get in the bed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then as soon as your kids come with you with something, you like, hey, go to your mama.
Yeah.
I ain't got time. I got a headache. I've been dealing with all these, all these Edomites, these white people, all that. Go to your mama. I ain't got time to deal with you right now.
Yep.
Let me watch this game with her. But you got to think about like they coming to you for a reason. They could be telling you something that happened that they need to talk to you about.
Right.
That is prime time in the house. We need to talk to these kids and let them know like, hey, this is what it is. Go ahead.
One thing I've been learning, either one, sometimes like when you on to doing something
Hmm.
real important, sometimes you got to do something that sucks. You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? It might
Yep.
not feel good. It's not gonna make you feel comfortable, but
Hmm.
it's important. So you
Yeah.
have done. So you might have to take, like you say, when you tired and stuff, just take that extra, go that extra mile to still instill that in your children's.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on, Sorry, real quick. Slow real quick. Yeah, I got it. I'm the bad one now. Yeah, hold on. Um, then also, yeah, you want to take those times in the house, like I said, when those kids coming to you and for advice, or you don't want to throw that time away. Um, then also, especially with the generation that we have now, a lot of us, when we raising our kids now, we want to, quote unquote, spare the rod from our child. When I say spare the rod, I mean spare the belt. We don't want to whoop our kids now. Now they want to sit down and talk and like look, the reason why these YNs or what they call them, or the YNs or what they call them, young niggas, what I'm hearing on online, and while they wilding out is because they haven't got their belt to their butt. That is why. They didn't think about the consequences, the after effects and effects. They wasn't taught that, because their parents didn't take that belt and let them know as soon as they even talk back, they didn't get that belt to, because I know when I grew up, I mean, the first time I said something, like it could be, hey, somebody, the phone ring, and my dad tell me like I'm waiting for a call, let me know if somebody call. I pick up the phone, it's that person. And who is it? Who else? Who else? There's no speaking. Belt to ass.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not even no conversation.
Right.
Give me Proverbs 13:24. Proverbs 13:24. See, and a lot of times these so-called the gang members of these gangs organizations, why is the number one reason why these things are formed? You know what I'm saying? Because it was no man in this household. There was no protection, like you said. They had uh no 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 authority in the household. That man was gone. So who was there? They feel like I'm the man of the house. I'm here with my mom. I need somebody to watch over me. I see these guys over here watching over each other. Let me go ahead and jump in this game. Let me jump down.
Right.
There was nobody to teach them anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And go ahead.
So like another thing that they would be like, if somebody mess with my crib,
Mm-hmm.
then like all my partners are, like my sisters and stuff will be
Mm-hmm.
protected too, like
Yeah,
that. Yep.
exactly. There's no father figure.
Hmm.
And just like you said with Ray J, you know what I mean, with the whole thinking that lifestyle is cool. And there was no man in the house that, back in the day, if you was gay in the household, what the father do? You getting thrown out the
That's
house.
right.
I'm not having that in the household. You are getting out of here. And go ahead and read that for me.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 24.
Hmm.
He that spared his rod hated his son.
If you do not whoop your child, you do not love your child.
Right.
Straight up and down. I know my dad loved the hell out of me.
Huh.
I caught them ass whoopings.
Yes.
he must love me to death. Go ahead, keep reading. Doc.
But he that loveth him chasteneth, chasteth him be times.
Like he that loves his son, he that loves his children, he will not spare the rod. That is that is just like what the Most High does to his children. What the Most High does to his children, we don't follow these laws.
Right. He hurt him.
He hurt them.
Right.
That's the one thing that the Most High do. He told us it's just like what the Most High told us. He gave us lines and instructions and guidance of what we should be doing to follow these laws.
Right.
And then it tells us what's going to happen to us if we don't follow those laws.
Right.
That is a parent and child relationship.
That's right.
We are his children. It's the same thing as with your children in the household. We do the same thing the Most High does with us.
That's right.
He loves us, so he punishes us.
Right.
You love your children, you punish them. That is the only way that they are going to learn. The only way. Give me Proverbs 19 and 18.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 18. Chasten thine son while there is hope, and let not the soul spare for his crying.
See, so it's like you wanna when you see your children mess up, you see your son or daughter, mess up. You want to get in them, not just not sparing the rod, but also get him like how disappointed you are, what you should be doing. Don't let your feelings get in the way of like, oh my son, I'm hurt. I don't want to do it. No, you should do it because if you don't, you're really going to be hurt when you're trying to go and to that morgue and identifying that body.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or going to that in that courtroom and waiting for that sentencing to come through
Right.
because you did not spare the rod. You know what I mean? Like all that the stuff you thinking about now because your soul hurt because you see them crying and you all that. You gonna be the one crying when you see them not following the laws of this land.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gonna be the one hurting. Your legacy's gone. You gonna all that is just it hurts too much. So deal with that small little pain now so your child doesn't go through it in the end. Give me Proverbs 22 and 15. Like that is what you got to think about. You got to think about the long game. Is what we got to think. We got to think about. Instead of now, and especially when it comes to women, what's the first thing they say? Oh no, that's my baby. I gotta take care of him, nourish him. That's why it's always up to the father to lay down that punishment. Because the women are there to nourish and cherish them, to feed them, all that type of stuff. But that dad in that household, that man, he's the one that's gonna lay up down that law.
That's right.
He's the one that's gonna teach them not to be foolish,
Right.
not to be stupid, not to be gullible to anything that they see. Go ahead, out. Oh, is there any questions in the class? Questions in the class?
Oh, I didn't see. I look once.
I forgot to even ask that. I just went into it. No questions online? No, I don't see none either. Okay. Go ahead and read that for me.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Children are gonna be children. They going the first thing they're gonna do is do something stupid. That's just what they supposed to do. They come in and it's like what I heard somebody say. It's like when you have a child, it's like seeing your heart outside of your body, running around, and your best thing you're trying to do is run around trying to protect them. That's pretty much what they are. But that belt is the one that knocks that foolishness out. That's why when you go to the hood, go in the neighborhood, you see 30-year-old or 40-year-old people still walking around the neighborhood, like they did when they was in middle school. You know, they in their second childhood. They never grew up because nobody was there to correct them. You know, and then especially depending on the background of where they come from, you know, a lot of us grew up in the neighborhood. A lot of our parents grew up in the hood, you know, and especially in the hood, it's surrounded by distraction on purpose. Is the oppressor made it that way,
Right.
you know, and it's still that way. Even when you look in, like when you're in Houston, you look in Fifth Ward. What's around the Fifth Ward? It's nothing but liquor stores and cash check places. You know, it's nothing of value too much of there. In order to find something, you got to leave out that area, you know, to get someone. Then you start to find financial institutions, banks, and stuff like that. Or, but you won't even see big market supermarkets. What
Right.
you'll see is you'll see fast foods, you know, stuff like that. It's made for an oppressed people. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like and this another thing we gotta teach the ones growing up because when you look at the mindset of a poor person and a person that comes from something, and you can put it like a mindset of a black person and a white person. When you see like an opportunity come up, a black person, the first thing they're gonna say is, "Oh, that's a scam." You
Right.
know, this might be a scam or whatever, all that type of stuff. Somebody that comes from something going to say, "I know this is something of value. I just need to see where it is first before I, you know, make my decision." You know, they have more of a business mindset. They look at things before they dismiss it. You know, or let's say when you give uh, somebody with no somebody with nothing where they come from, you give them some money. Let's say 2,000, like let's say somebody gives somebody $1 million, something like that. You give a black man $1 million. What is he going to do? He going we'll go ahead.
He gonna blow it on like stunting. He gonna go out and stunt with it,
Exactly.
and then when he lose it all, he gonna say, "Man, I should have did
I
this."
should. So what we gonna buy some rims? We gonna buy, you know, jewelry. Going to the club. You're gonna throw some out at the strip club. You know, you know the normal stuff. But let's say you give your colonizer. Let's say he come across 2 million, a million. What's the first thing he gonna do? I can tell you exactly what he gonna do. He's gonna buy a 25 year house mortgage. Then he's gonna put a couple. He's gonna put the other million in an investment that's gonna do 3 to 5% interest. So he's gonna live off that interest. And then what's that called? That's called FU money. That's what it's called. He's not gonna quit his job. He's gonna live off that interest. It's gonna be FU money. So when he comes to work and his boss say, "I want you to do something that he don't like," FU, I'm not doing it. When somebody tells him that he got to do FU, I'm not gonna do it. If somebody comes up with some other stuff, FU, I'm not gonna do it because why? I have FU money. I don't have to do this. I'm just doing it because I just need something to do.
That's right.
That's how they live. And then they start building trust. They open the trust up. They put that money in for their loved ones. The generation of wealth start to pass down.
Right.
That's how you know that we are in a time of war. We in a war right now. And a lot of times our people don't know that everybody is against us. That's why this whole economic system is built on the backs of us. When you go to the hood, all you see in the hood is Native Americans. You see Mexican, you see so-called Mexicans and blacks. But when you go to the new suburban areas, who the ones that are building those suburbs? Go ahead.
It's the the oppressor, the white man, the the um the Chinese, the Asians, the Arabs, the Indians, and the Africans building up new suburbs.
They be the ones that are the contractors, but then they'll hire the Mexicans to build it for them.
That's right. That's who. You're right.
That's exactly how they build it. And then when you go into our black neighborhoods, who are the ones that have the businesses? It's the Chinese people. It's the East Indian people. You know, and then the Arabs, they all own the business, the small, quick, fast shops. because in the hood, they always want you to have something where it's quick access to lose the money real quick. That's why I said it's always check cash in places, fast food. It's nothing of value that you can hold on to. It's not even car dealerships in there.
Right.
You always gotta leave the hood area, to go somewhere else of value. Then you start to see, the banks, the car dealerships, and all that type of stuff.
Right.
You start to see that. Go ahead, Al.
That's because the people, they want to make the hood like a prison for people who don't have transportation and
Exactly.
things like that. They want to make it so hard for them to even get a foothold in the real race. You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. So that's why they always have um, they always have a head start of everything. Is hard. So some of us are lucky to where our parents got out the hood, got in the suburb area, and they started doing well for themselves, and then their children start to see how they move, start to see okay, this is a good business aspect. This is how they start. But we still on the back end, we still behind as far as what our oppressor has already done. He's already got all whole bunch of houses, building subdivisions. He's already up there. So we just now started. We just now starting the generation of our kids going to college, finishing college. You know what I mean? So it's like, cause I know in my line, I'm like one of the first to finish college. My sister finished college. You know what I mean? But even though school is not the end all be all, that to succeed and all that, but that's just like these other nations, they already done this already. This is it's nothing to them. It's a part of their society. You know what I mean? All right, cool, cool. Um, looking into it. So, um, give me Ephesians 6:4, if you could. But when we also teaching our children the ways and the byways of doing certain things, we don't want to have uh, a tightened type of grip
Right.
on our children. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that type of all you do is walk around with the belt in your hand to the point where they can't even they scared to look up. They scared to look you in your eyes. They scared to walk around the house. They all they want to do is stay in the room because they feel like any move that you make, you on their ass. It's a way to handle it. Go ahead and read that for me out.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And ye fathers,
Mm-hmm.
provoke not your children to wrath.
Now you don't want to lead with just straight whooping child all day. I know a lot of the times back in the day, they would the father is dealing with so much stress and problems at work, to where he's being beat up mentally and physically by his job, by his oppressors at the workplace. But then he comes home and takes their wrath out on his family, and that right there can push your children out of the household, and then they start to see society as a different mindset. They just can't grasp on anything because they have this pain that they dealt with in the household when they grew up. Go ahead and keep reading up.
Bring them up in the nature and admonition, ad, ad, admon, admonition of the Lord.
You still want to have that nurturing touch, but also bring that leather strap when you need to. When you need to, go ahead and do what you need to do. Like one of the key things is you want to teach them wisdom. That's one of the things that's going to keep them occupied and keep them from doing stupid things. Wisdom is the key to everything. Even in the scriptures, it tells about how wisdom is going to you want to hold that onto you, um, and that is something that even King David did. I mean, King Solomon did. The first thing he did was he wanted to teach wisdom was a number one priority, and since wisdom was his number one priority, the Lord gave him everything else because he didn't look for, uh, riches and women and all that type of stuff. He wanted wisdom, and with wisdom, it comes everything. He learns how to lead his people, how to stop famine. How to deal with other nations that come upon your land. How to feed the poor. How to make sure in your country you don't have too many homeless people. I mean, there was times where the laws in the Bible to where if you got farmland and you growing like corn or something like that, you don't edge the corners of your stock, because if you got travelers or homeless people, they're able to pick it along the way when they're walking, so they can still eat. It's like you feeding the nation. That's like that is something that it's like brotherhood. It's like you teaching brotherhood to those that you don't even know about, keeping everyone fed, keeping everyone fed. Give me Proverbs 9 and 9. Teaching your child to be wise is one of the hard foundations that you can do. One of the hardest, because when you teach him to be wise, the learning never stops. He always know to keep going. Always know. Go ahead for me out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Give instruction to a wise man,
Mm-hmm.
and he will be yet wiser.
You give instruction to your child, he's gonna be wiser. He's gonna always be learning more. Go ahead, keep reading.
Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning.
Always gonna be increasing in learning. Always gonna learn more. And one thing you don't want to do is be gullible to the ones that's out here trying to teach you anything they come across. Matter of fact, speaking of that, give me First John 4, 4 and 1.
Got you, other one.
Give me that. This is what we come across now in the church.
4 and 1.
Yeah, First John 4 and 1.
Con, not a one. Con, not a one. Con. This is the book of First John, chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going out into the world.
When you come across these pastors, first thing they always say that they are men of God. They men of the Lord, um, and of course they are all false prophets. But you also want to try the spirit to whether God is in their heart, because first thing they do is they'll go teach a sermon, quote unquote sermon, right? But after the sermon, we got crawfish that Miss Bell didn't cook. After service, we also got some ham hocks in the back. Let you know, go ahead and get the children. Get them lined up, get your plates ready. They serve abominable foods in the church after the sermon. They would do stuff like that. Yet they men of the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, then you'll have men of the Lord that will straight divorce their wives and get with the secretary of the church. You know what I mean? But they men of the Lord though. That straight up adultery. But they supposed to be your leaders. You know what I mean? Like, they sit there and tell you like the Most High loves everybody. God loves it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They teach you about sin be so throwed off.
Mm-hmm.
They'll teach you to sleep with the secretary while you're married
Mm-hmm.
under law,
Mm-hmm.
like the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's adultery.
Mm-hmm.
First, you need to divorce that woman.
Exactly.
Then, but the actual adultery is putting that sister away, divorcing her, and sleeping with the other woman instead of just having both of them.
Still having both of them.
Right.
Still have both of them. But they'll do it in secret. Later on, and then it all comes out. Then they first thing they got to do before they start the service, I just want to apologize to the congregation. I was lost up in my way, and I was tempted. You know, but right now the Lord is using me to learn and teach others. The way that you should be going. If you could. With this, everything's backwards. Everything's backwards. But if they actually crack that Bible open and read what it actually says, if you want that secretary, just be with her, just have her. But you can't throw your wife away either. You got to keep both of them. Keep both of them. And like I was going into, like they'll teach, the Lord love everybody. Love everybody. The Lord to say, you know, Christ died for Israel so you all can be saved. Not understanding that he just cut himself in the same sentence that he spoke in the scriptures when it says Christ died for Israel. So you all can be saved. Who was the all? All of Israel. So why are you talking about everybody is saved? What are you talking about? Makes no sense. Then you want to and just the whole religious aspect of it. Like you want to go ahead and go to a building, get on your knees, pray, because a lot of times at the end of the service, they'll say what they say. If the Lord is on your heart and you feel Him, please come down to the podium. I feel like somebody is speaking to me. The Lord is speaking to me. Somebody come down and we can pray upon you. And then they'll have people come to the front and they'll get on their knees and they'll pray and stuff like that. But then the whole understanding of you get on your knees praying, and when you look right next to you, it's the same oppressor that just fired you last week. You know what I'm saying? The same oppressor that's kicking you out the job. The same oppressor that's making you lose your house. You know what I'm saying? It's the same people that got your foot on your neck. You sitting there worshiping with. I can't, that doesn't make sense to me. It don't make sense. Go ahead.
The thing that I don't understand about the situation, the oppressor thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't save nobody if you the person who needs to be saved. Like they want the oppressor to be saved, but they don't want to step into the position of saving. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you start following the laws, statutes, commandments, start taking on your role in the kingdom,
Yeah.
being in the kingdom of heaven, you can set everything right then.
True.
But people want to hold on to the oppressor so bad in his way they can't even get past the first part.
But along with you said though, as far as your oppressor getting salvation, you got to think about it. What is your oppressor being saved from?
No, himself, nobody.
No, of nobody.
Right.
There's nobody on him.
Yep.
He's the one with the whip. You know what I mean? So it's like you saying, like, yeah, I need to be saved from what? What are you being saved from? I mean, you got a house, you got the economic system is built for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you see a white man on the street, homeless white man, the first thing I see that is the waste of white privilege. That is a complete waste of white. You got all that privilege and you just threw it away. That's what you did. You on the street because you want to be on the street. That's why. You lazy. That's what you can say. You can't. You don't want to. You got to hit him with that stuff they hit you with. You got to pull yourself up with your bootstraps. You got, you got to hit him with that. When they come to your window, knock on your door, they like, hey, pull yourself up with your bootstraps. That's as you got to hit him with. Uh, Go ahead and give me let me see. Timothy 5:8. First Timothy 5:8. Like the Lord speaks about the type of men that don't, teach their children, you know, um, pretty much the Lord, the commandments, who they should be, those that do know. You walking around with this knowledge, but you don't teach your family anything. You don't do anything. Go ahead and get that for me out.
This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house,
So if you
he
so if
mhm,
you don't provide for your own, for your own people and for your own household, you don't want to go and teach your people, your family the truth.
he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
You are the scum of the scum. You have denied your family, the faith of the Lord. You ain't, in so many words, the Lord say you ain't shit. That's what it says. You don't want to teach your people what it is, or your family, or and that's one thing that if you tell them and then they don't listen, that's another thing. But if you teaching them and you don't want to teach, you just keep it all to yourself, especially the person that runs the household. You worse than dog shit at the bottom of somebody's shoe.
That's right.
That's what you are. Go ahead, Al.
If I may add one,
Uh-huh.
like you got some people who read that and they think that, like women, they'll think that just mean that the man supposed to like provide money and stuff like that,
Yeah.
instead of like showing them how to be right in the Lord.
Hmm.
And because the man can't can't provide money for her the way she want to, she'll treat him like trash. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, when you read that scripture, it doesn't say anything about money. But when you keep reading that scripture, it says uh, denying the faith. Is faith money? You know what I'm saying? So when a woman comes to say that, I mean, that's one thing in the scripture that can be cut with. Where is the money that you were speaking about? There's a lot of times where somebody will read scripture and their mind will take it, or not even read. They will, because a lot of times they don't read it. They'll hear from what their pastor say. So they'll hear what the pastor say, and their mind will take it straight to somewhere else, and not actually pay attention to what the scripture is actually saying. You know what I mean? So and then you gotta look what was the disciples doing? Stopped everything. They dropped everything. Some of them were working. You know what I'm saying? The Most High found what Peter, what he was fishing, wasn't he? He was fishing and he dropped everything, and I will make you fishers of men. He dropped what he was doing. He dropped his business. He quit his business and started working, walking around with Christ. Where's the money? Well, what was he providing the funds? What he started doing was he started providing for his own, which was his people, his household. He's teaching his household the faith. He didn't deny it. That's what he did. You know what I mean? That's one on one. You know. Let me see. Another one. Matter of fact, give me Proverbs 4:1. Like this whole section speaks about a father having understanding and giving it to his child. And this goes towards your children.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 1.
Hmm.
Hear ye, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law.
He's letting you know this is how you should live. Listen to your father.
That's right.
He's the one that's going to give you the understanding. And this is why the number one reason why the oppressor always tried to get the man out of the house. This is why. I mean, it wasn't it that you couldn't even get was it food stamps or something like that if the man wasn't in the house? Go ahead.
I seen one sister posted something online like a contract where school teachers couldn't have husbands. That's crazy.
See, go ahead and read verse 3 out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words.
Mm-hmm.
Keep my commandments and live.
These commandments is the ones that keeping you alive.
That's right.
That's what drives you to stay on this earth. Drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing.
Money is the principal thing.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Go ahead.
Therefore, get wisdom.
Get money.
Get wisdom.
Okay, keep reading.
And with all things, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
Go to verse 8.
Verse 8. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou doest embrace her.
When you got that wisdom, especially wisdom for your father, that's teaching you everything. He's teaching you everything that he knows, everything that he comes from. Especially the mistakes that he's made. This is the time we drill into our children, especially our children now don't know too much about war, right? But there are different types of war. You got your actual combat war, you got your economic war that we living in right now. So it's the systematic war that we living in, biological war, what they did with the Native Americans, how they gave them blankets filled with smallpox. That was biological war right there. And what we're living in now is economic systematic war, how they have with us right now. When you look at history of wars being won and all that, the number one way to have a foothold, a head start in wars, like what do you need? What do you need to make sure that you have, a head in wartime? Go ahead.
Intel.
Intel is one.
Uh,
There's another.
reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance is kind of same as intel. You want to you want to have resources and money. That's what you have. The person that has the most resources and money, you're going to have more ammunition. You're going to have more equipment. You're going to have more assault power. You're going to have more everything because you have the funds This is why America is sitting on what it has. It has a lot of resources. It has a lot of it has money. You know, that's why when America tries to take over, they always put a small base in every nation. That's why they do that. That's a resource. Now I got a base in your land. So if something pops up, I know what's going on because I have my men already living in your land. I know what's going on. You know, um, and that's what falls back to when we teach our kids, you know, stuff about money, economic systems. You know, not only that, we teach our kids about the commandments, the laws, the statutes, and stuff like that. We also need to teach our children how to live in this society. You know what to do when you have money. You know, I mean, I know when I was growing up, I know the first thing my father told me to do: don't you co-sign for nobody. He had told me that. I mean, not understanding what that meant at that time, but you know, when you co-sign for somebody that's bad, oh, it can mess up your whole life of trying to just get a car, get a house, even get a phone. You know, because credit is everything. You co-sign for somebody and you mess up, and they mess up your credit, you stuck. You out of there. You can't do nothing. So I remember when that time came, when somebody had asked me to co-sign for something, back of my head was, "Don't you co-sign for nobody." I was like, "Nah, I think I'm out. We're gonna have to go another way for you to get this." That saved me so many times because I was taught that in a young age. Because I always heard it, not knowing what it meant, but I always heard it. And then later on, when I grew up, I knew what it meant. You know what I mean? That's how you raise up a child. That's how you build the foundations of a child. Put those type of distill moments in them. So when things pop up, they remember certain things. You know what I mean? And it saves them in the long run. You know what I mean? Like I said, like how to handle money, how to deal with anything. You know, how to handle situations, even relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because there's brothers that, you know, since they didn't have an example, even a man in the household, they didn't know how to deal with a woman. You know, that's fussing at you. Go ahead,
if I may.
yeah.
And some brothers did have a man in the house. He was just a bad example of what you supposed to do
Yeah, that's
sometimes.
true. That is true. That is true. So they don't know how to handle their emotions. That's a number one problem with a lot of our, not just men, but just children, period. It's hard for them to handle their emotions. So when something goes down or something happens, you know, if it don't go their way, it's like they throw a hissy fit or they get crazy. You know, even when they get pulled over by the laws, you know, instead of just cooperating or just being, you know, respectable, it puts them more in a horrible situation than what it could have been. You know what I mean? Instead of being defiant, like I'm not going to show you my license. I'm not. The article something something the 3.5 says I can't just license. Oh, here you go. You need anything else? You need anything else? You can get off with a warning. You gonna get a ticket? Give me the ticket. I'll handle it later on. You know, it's fine. That way you can get to your destination and deal with that later. You know, instead of like, no, forget all that. That's all that. I ain't dealing with this now. You got me messed up. You got all. Now you got 4, 5 police officers, police cops around you. You got look like Christmas trees going on around your block. You in the back of the car. Now you can't go back to work. Got let go. You know, because you've been missing too many days. Job don't know what's going on. They just know you missing all because you emotions. It's a doubt. And it could all start by the foundation of how you was taught. How you was taught. You know, because I mean, not to get too much on the women, but women base everything off of how they feel, off of emotion. Men are what? Logical. You're always thinking logic. What's the best way to get me out this situation instead of just, it's this stuff I'm dealing with. Oh, going through. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, okay, this has happened. What's the best way I get out of here? I got this over here. That, and I always think plan A, plan, that the right type of man that has that wisdom type of foundation. That's what we have. That's where you get that wisdom from. That's where you got to be taught. That's when a man that was not denied, uh, was not denied he didn't the spareness of the rod was not given to him. And he will pass that down to the ones that comes under him. Matter of fact, give me verse 12 of that same. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
When thou goest, thy steps shall not be strained,
Mm-hmm.
and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble.
That's because you'll have that wisdom, because that wisdom will give you a right path to go through. When you to you going to stumble. You're going to not have control of your emotions. You're going to be sitting there acting all crazy because somebody tell you what to do that you don't like. So now you're going to call the laws and get everything crazy going on in your household. It all is a stumbling block. Drop down and give me verse 14.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked,
Mm-hmm.
and go not in the way of evil men.
Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 15. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief,
Mm-hmm.
and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall.
This whole verse, this whole not verse, this whole chapter is just straight wisdom of a father giving his children, or his son, his daughter, just what wisdom can do for you and what it can avoid in your life. This is all telling you, like, avoid the evil men, avoid, what they're going to do to you, how your path is going to be straight. This is the same thing that the Lord gave us in the book of Deuteronomy when he told us to follow these laws and statutes and commandments, because this is what's going to happen. And if you follow this path, you're going to be ruling other nations. You're going to be controlling everything, but then it flips when it gets, I believe the verse said, if you don't follow this, these are the curses that's going to follow you. You're going to have a yoke of iron around your neck. You're going to be worshiping, you're going to have people that worship an eagle, people that come across a land that you don't know, that come far away, that don't speak your language. You're going to be worshiping, idol gods made from wood and stone. All these things that you're going to come across if you don't follow what the Most High is saying. It's the same thing the Proverbs is doing. The exact same thing. Remember this. Make sure we keep a foundation of build something under your children's feet where they can stand on. Give them guidance, give them wisdom, teach them something that they can always remember. That can be distilled in them. Because a hard head and a soft butt that can change a person. With that, pass the class officer. Is there any? Is there any questions in the online before I end it? Make sure I ain't or in the classroom. Nobody got any questions? You got any questions, sir? No questions? Okay, cool. With that, pass class to Officer Yakatazal. Security announcements.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Mashariah. Every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the department or teacher, for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The memorial of blowing of trumpets, first day of the 7th month, Sunday, September 21st, Sunday, 2025. Leviticus 23, verse 24 through 25. Check the bulletin board. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, that concludes the security announcements.
All right, we're gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers and salute to the sisters. With that, sorry, Malcolm Shabbat, Majid, Rock, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Yasmatah. Sorry, turn to the sisters. Benevision, Majid Shabbat, Majid, Rock, Yahweh Shemartha Hashem Yahshua Yasmatah. Dismiss.